Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans. Discussing football, basketball, news, trending topics. The one-stop shop for all things sports. Voice of the Fans Sportscast. Hosted by none other than Ben Swift Reynolds, Taylor Gatwood, 100% RC, Professor Damian Flowers, and Tyler Wright.
Hey guys, welcome to this special episode of Voice of Fans Sportscast. I'm your host, Ben Swift Reynolds. We have Most Unknown with us, and we have our guys from Canada, Randy Cool Ray and Neil. What's going on, fellas?
Doing good. Swift.
What's going on, Swift?
Man, trying to stay cool in the Mississippi heat, man.
That's impossible. That's great impossible.
Yeah, I already know
what's going on right now in Canada.
Yeah, we got some heat up here too. Don't think that it's just about snow and ice. It is 91 right now.
I ain't know what
in
get
Toronto.
Up that. Dang.
No way.
Oh, hey, yes, sir.
Maybe we want winter back.
I can't have that. I'm about to melt, boys.
Oh man, same here. I was cutting the yard yesterday. I had to stop. I said, I gotta push more. So I'm working out there. Man, I took me so many breaks. It was so hot. I said, I ain't built for this, man. I ain't built for this type of work. Yeah. So shout out to all construction guys, y'all workers, anything that delivery guys, man, y'all got that. Kudos to y'all.
Kudos.
So, Mose, what's been going on with you, bro?
Nothing, man. I've been working a lot, but I was able to catch the last few games of the finals, man. And I ain't gonna lie, this is probably one of my favorite finals in like recent years, man. It was really fun to watch from beginning to end.
Totally. Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about it that was this good for the NBA having those two franchises play. And I enjoyed it too. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't rooting for anybody in particular. It was just like two franchises that.
See, that's such a weird question to ask. Like if the Washington Wizards were in the championship like next year, like why wouldn't that be good for the league? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Any team that's in the championship is good for the league. And how do we know this? They're going to capitalize off it. Sales, marketing, anything you can think of.
Absolutely. And, they have familiar faces in Halliburton and Siakam and Turner. And then you had SJ Williams. I mean, the rosters were pretty loaded on both teams. So it's not like it was just a boring finals. It was really competitive. And I think that's what the NBA want. It's like teams that just don't have, that icon like in LeBron or Tatum to get to the NBA finals and have two teams like that compete to win something. I think that's what they really want. That's what NFL have. NFL have teams that sometimes come out of nowhere and make it to the Super Bowl. Neil, what you thought about the finals?
I loved it, man. I'm with Most on this one. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, we got a banger in game one, another epic comeback by Tyrese and the boys. And then just, all the way through, man. I loved it because these are two young teams, both very deep, both play the right way, the right attitudes, a lot of swag. People say, OKC is a boring champion. I didn't feel that way at all. They these guys, just young kids, these guys know how to play together, and they're skilled, heavily skilled. And I've just loved, it's one of the rare times I could say that the runner-up is more memorable than the champion. Because I thought Indiana's run was something that we may never see again, this type of thing. And it's a shame. I found myself rooting for them at the end because I kind of wanted that magical run to kind of cap off with a championship that we'd all look back and say that was one of the greatest runs ever. Unfortunately, everything happened, but still, OKC, an absolutely wonderful team. And, like all this talk about this small market stuff and is it good for the league? That's BS, man. It's great for the league because these are two young teams that are going to be here for a while. And they play the right way, and they got a lot of great players that gave us a lot of great moments. So for fans of the NBA, for fans of basketball, I think pretty much everyone enjoyed it. And for the casual fan out there, yeah, maybe they wanted the Lakers or the Knicks in there. But, for the diehards, for the guys who really love the game, I thought it was a fantastic finals.
Me too, man. I mean, Kyle, we saw the Pacers go through a gauntlet to even get there. I know we definitely see them beating the Celtics, then them beating the Knicks. Like, everybody had the Knicks shoe in. They're like, oh, yeah, man, this is the Knicks moment right here. It's their time. But nope, Halliburton had something else to say about that. Flowers, my man, I see you got the OKC hat on.
I've had this hat for about 10 years now.
I
brought it out just for this episode.
He just got it yesterday, man.
Trust me, this hat is old. It's worn. Trust me.
Man, what were your thoughts? A lot of people, some people asking, like, what's really good for the NBA? I don't know what the viewership. I didn't see that number, so I can't say on the viewership total. But do you think there was a good for the NBA to have the OKC, who never won a championship, and the Pacers to come and play against each other?
Hell yeah, most definitely. Shame on the supposed fan that sit up here and say, well, it's boring, small market teams. I had a rant about that a few weeks ago, as far as talking about how true basketball fans would appreciate what we see what we see that happened last night that transpired. Canceling out the Halliburton injury, but you seen two teams that built themselves to the playoffs. Indy first, Halliburton and company. Through each round, they gave us something to root for, and if anything, it built up the momentum for the finals for them. So I would think people would have been happy to see Indiana in the finals. Okay, and people talk bad about OKC this morning. As far as they didn't play anybody. Well, how can we sit up here and criticize the best team in the league for taking care of business if they won 84 games this year in total? That's an amazing feat. And it's just a shame that people don't appreciate basketball in a sense instead of just rooting for stars. Basketball is I understand it's a star-driven league, but man, we're talking about a 5-on-5 game, and we should appreciate these young teams taking, the helm from these older guys like LeBron, Curry, Durant. These guys are 37 and up. It's time for it's time for a revolution. It's time for the newer generation to shine. So last night was a clear indication of the future.
Yes, indeed, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Randy, a lot of people said, look, Stephen A over there playing solitaire, still watching the game. It must be boring. Do you think that was a good thing for the NBA?
Well, I mean, like Flowers was saying, it's you have to change. You have to change the people up top at some time, and these guys, these stars, you beyond Tyrese and Pascal, Shea, you want to throw in Anthony Edwards. I mean, they're in different teams and teams that we don't really see that can make a legit run in the finals. And I mean, Oklahoma City, maybe they did have a small history all those years ago with KD and Russell Westbrook, but I think it was very exciting, and I think that the NBA can handle a small market, being one of the premier franchises in their league. I mean, take a look at San Antonio, take a look at Golden State when they were in Oakland. I mean, these are like two of the smallest cities that have an NBA franchise, and sure, the Warriors are now in San Francisco, but I mean, it's tomato. Basically, that those communities didn't really have, a storied legacy like the Celtics and like the Lakers, but they did manage to build something very strong in the 90s and the 2000s. And we could probably see the same thing happening in OKC. I'd be very, very surprised if we don't see 2-3 championships out of the next 5 years, especially out of OKC. I think it's wonderful. I really do.
Yeah. It's
And
it's
they did it.
breath.
They
It's
did it the old
it's fresh
school
air for.
professional way,
Mhm.
drafting and trading.
But I mean, they did it in a professional way, but you could see them goofing around, like when you like, especially with the Thunder and their sideline reporter there, Nick Gallo. I mean, they're throwing towels on him, they're throwing the warm up gear on him. They just really love to have a good time, but then they're all business on the court and the post game celebration when they won the championship. I mean, people were saying how subdued it was. And, I mean, that's something that we don't really see, from championship celebrations. And, I think they have something really, really special there.
Yes, indeed, man. Both teams have a bright future ahead of them. It's just sad to see Halliburton, to see that injury happen to him when, everything was just going so well for the Pacers. With that being said, the Thunder, if y'all live underneath the rock, Thunder did win the NBA championship. They won 103-91. Flower, just give us your thoughts on the series and how it ended.
I'll zoom in to the third quarter. The Halliburton injury is obvious. The Pacers, they fought a hell of a game. Halftime, it was neck and neck, but the third quarter, I think, was the overall turning point. I didn't understand Carlisle's decision to keep Siakam on the bench for a extended period of time. This is game 7. We bitch and complain about Thibodeau, last series, overplaying his guys for the series. In the game 7, this is when you go all out. I felt like the Pacers had some guys on the floor in the third quarter that shouldn't have been playing in a game 7. And that's no disrespect to those guys. I understand that Carlisle probably took an all hands on deck approach, once Halliburton got hurt. But Siakam obviously is the number one guy. He has to be on the floor. McConnell, he had 7 turnovers. I can't fault him for that because it's not his primary, position is to bring up the ball. I know he's a point guard, but he's not used to that. That's not his role. Halliburton's ball handling skills were missed, in the second half. The Thunder had 7 turnovers in the third quarter. They just took over the game. Pretty much, like I said, the third quarter was pretty much that turning point of the whole game 7.
Yes, when Halliburton went down, you can tell that it shook the Pacers because they know Halliburton, he was just heating up. He was just getting started, and it was looking really bad for OKC at that time of moment. But as soon as he got injured, TJ got thrown in the fire, and like you said, he just not. That's not his role to just facilitate
And
everything.
TJ played a decent game.
Yeah, he played a wonderful game.
He had 17. So yeah.
TJ and Mathurin definitely stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't expecting that from Mathurin, but just having Siakam on the bench that long, man, I don't know what Carlisle was thinking at that point,
when you see an injury like that happen to your star player, I bet a lot of things were going through his mind. I think he had to rearrange what he had scratch jobs for the entire game. It probably just something like that. I don't know how you overcome, but I kind of knew, man. I was like, yeah, that's a wrap, and we saw it. They start peeling off. Neil, a lot of people was having complaints about OKC winning this thing. They saw a lot of missed calls from the refs on the Pacers side. They saying it's an asterisk by because of Halliburton going down. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, the word asterisk should not be thrown around so loosely. This was by no means anyone who says that doesn't know what the F they talking about, really. Because look,
take it easy, Neil. We're visitors here.
That's why I only said the letter. But what I'm trying to say is that, look, man, this team was built from the ground up, like most were saying. They did it the right way, the old school way, the way that is built to last. And this was the first year of this real experience for them. But what you saw, what my analysis overall, if I just had to boil it down to like one sort of thing, is that all the fires, all the tests that the Pacers had during their run, they had a much more tested journey to the finals than Oklahoma City did. And so they came in as a tougher team, in my opinion. And that's how they even got it to Game 7, because Oklahoma City was a far more talented team, in my estimation. And, it came through for them in Game 7. Obviously, the Halliburton injury is a huge, huge factor. But, I was sitting there going, when is this OKC run going to happen? When is this OKC run? Because these guys seem to, at any point in time, they turn it on, often in the third quarter or in the second quarter, some point in time, they just start hitting you up. Every single thing turns into a turnover, points off turnovers. You saw the points off turnovers in the game was something like 20-5 overall. That was a difference right there. And as it has been for Oklahoma City the whole way through, their defense, as we all know, defense wins championships. They had a historic defense. That's why they weren't in many close games during the regular season. That's why, it really was the Denver series that really brought this next level of experience to them. And Minnesota couldn't match that, and so they took care of Minnesota with ease. But Indiana did what no other team has done and pushed them really to their limits. And it was a wonderful thing to see because, look, Sam Presti has done a fabulous job. He has built this team with this defensive identity, and it's clear that when he went after all of these guys, when he chose them, Shea and J-Dub, neither of these guys is top 10 picks. Only Chet out of their core is a top 10 pick, he's a second pick. I mean, he's finding these diamonds in the rough. Even though he didn't draft Shea still was not a top 10 pick and seemed to be like trade fodder for the Clippers, who obviously don't have a clue what they're doing at the time. And so you got these guys with just very high basketball IQ, defensive skill, hard work. These guys and Shea showing his leadership, the way he managed the game, the way that these guys respond to him. It's such a beautiful thing to see. This young guy, humble in how he speaks. He's not a diva. There's no diva in him. You could call him a free throw merchant all you want. If you are, you're a casual, because what the man's got to do, the skill he's got to have to break these guys down, to make them jump, put them in the air, make them react. He ain't breaking a sweat on that. He's making those guys sweat. And that's why he's getting to the line. You think refs are going to bail him out? Refs don't know what to do. He's too good. They don't know what to do. They got to blow the whistle. It's a skill. And he's showing it night after night. And the way he got his teammates involved yesterday, 12 assists, career high in a Game 7 of the finals. Yeah, you that's got to take your hat off to this guy. He's a leading scorer in the league, and he won the championship by passing the ball. The great ones do that. They change it up when the moment arises for it. And look, these guys are so young. You could tell that Chet, he did well on the defensive end, but his offensive game was lacking in this series, and he's got so much room to grow. J-Dub, he was a little inconsistent. When he was on like no other, but he had those down moments a little bit through the playoffs. Shea was at consistency, but when you got a defense like that, defense wins championships. And even the greatness that the Pacers showed weren't able to overcome that. So in my opinion, there's no asterisk whatsoever. This is a great champion, and probably – these guys ain't done anything close.
Yes, indeed. Because anybody calling SGA a free throw merchant, no, he get that call because he's that guy. We see LeBron get that call, Kobe, any superstar get those type of calls, especially Harden. Everybody want to talk about a free throw merchant. When Harden, he get calls, especially when the step back threes he used to do. I mean, come on now. Most of know.
Well, I mean, very quickly, Frank. I mean, there is something that maybe can be done, just like not just focusing on Shea, but I mean, a foul is a foul. I'm a little tired of this narrative of superstars getting calls and the mid to low-level players are not getting that same hack. I mean, a foul is a foul. So the NBA does need to work on that. I'm not going to get into this whole asterisk thing because I think that's garbage. I mean, what championship team did not have any sort of luck, whether it's the Raptors and KD getting injured, let alone Klay Thompson in the final game, Michael Jordan retiring, and the Houston Rockets getting the 2 championships there in the 90s. But sorry to veer off here, Swift. But if they're calling a foul because the superstar is getting hacked, then you got to spread it out to everybody on the floor.
Well, ESPN good at clip forming fouls. So they showed the one TJ getting his hand grabbed. I think it was by Wallace. He holds on to his wrist, and that would led to the the ball being stolen at half court. So they'll clip forming missed calls, and that's what people saying, like, they lost Halliburton, now they're not getting the calls. So definitely accurate about it. I seen one guy that I follow on Instagram, he went on a whole rant. I was kind of surprised he went on a rant about that OKC is not the true winner.
Oh my God.
Pacers was the better team. He believes that if Halliburton doesn't go down, they don't win, that the Pacers was the better team.
Look, if you're a Pacers fan, like, you shouldn't have to go through this narrative. Y'all team played amazing basketball. See, I had the Cavs going all the way, well, because they were at least healthy at the time and whatnot. But man, Pacers went all the way to the finals with, I mean, one, they're a talented team, but just hard work and heart. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was counting them out. So it just, if I'm a Pacers fan, I'd be damn proud that my team played this well. Taking this OKC team to 7 games.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but where was this same outcry when the Pacers were beating teams that weren't healthy? I'm not trying to be that guy, but for the past 2 years, they've beaten people without their best players. So it's like it's like painting the kettle black. I don't want to go. I'm not the kind of person to do that, but I hate to hear fans sit up here and say, well, Oklahoma City didn't deserve it. Hell, they were the best team in the NBA for the whole season. What more do we need them to do? Like, you take care of who's in front of you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The same people that cry about, the small market teams. Well, hell, LeBron didn't make it there. He had Luka. That's a big market team. They lost in the first round. So what? I just don't understand people's logic, because something happens and, well, if this didn't happen, we can't. No, I guarantee you, nobody on this panel would have guaranteed a Pacers win last night if Halliburton didn't get hurt. Because, like Neil said, when you watch the Thunder play, it's always, well, damn, when they're gonna make the run. It's always that with the Thunder. The only team that I've truly seen give the Thunder the problems were the Nuggets. Other than that, everybody was barbecue chicken.
Well, I mean, I think I know the logic. And I have a platform, and I'm going to say something outrageous, and it's going to piss people off, and that's going to get me the views.
Right.
And that's how media and sports media is run these days. Like, I'll never forget
social media.
Well, yeah, sure. I'll never forget. I don't know if you guys probably know Kai Cenat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys know him. Now, I don't follow him at all. I just saw him once on First Take. And this fool said that the greatest NBA player was Leandro Barbosa on First Take. And I was like, okay, you are just no, I mean, like,
but that's the thing, though. We don't need people on national television on a sports show trolling. We don't need that. Keep that in social media.
I agree.
But they gotta make clips, man. They gotta get the views.
It's funny that Flowers said that, because the biggest troll on TV is Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion.
I disagree, because
I feel like
Stephen A. is right about a lot of things, and he's wrong about quite a few things.
Yes.
But I would never discredit Stephen A.'s journalism. He he put a lot of work in before what he what he's doing today. You go back 25 years, he was on the ground. I can't disrespect Stephen A. Smith.
But I mean, if he's morphing himself into a different character where he's, I'm guessing that you guys would probably think Skip Bayless is more of a troll than Stephen A.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I personally, respectfully, I don't really watch a lot of American sports media. Neil, you probably watch a hell of a lot more than me, and it just seems like it's not about they're not all Brian Windhorst, they're not all Shams Charania or Adam Schefter. The people who are leading the shows say outrageous comments because that's what's going to drive viewership. It's like shock jocks, like Howard Stern for sports. You know what I mean? They're gonna say whatever is on their mind to piss off viewers, but that'll drive them to watching those shows. I think that's where media is. I mean, it's not like us. Like, I mean, like, you know, we're chopping it up. We're boys, and we're, you know, but we have a legitimate value. We're not going to say that, you know, I don't know, Rajon Rondo is going to come back in the NBA and he's going to lead a team into the NBA championship. We're not going to be saying that. We're going to be saying legitimate thoughts. But these people who are on these big platforms, it's not about that.
They don't know how to do a good story anymore. They don't know how to talk sports. It's all about who can get the most views, who can say the most outrageous.
I mean,
who
this
can
is
go
just
viral.
This is just the current state of sports media. I've been talking about this for the longest because I noticed last year with the finals and, you know, with Boston, like, I liked the finals, but I ain't like how it was being showed. You know, it's like it didn't feel like a finals. You know, back then when you used to watch the NBA finals, you know, the team got the champion, the Larry O'Brien trophy on their jersey, or you might see the big trophy on the middle of the court, or instead it just feels like a regular game with YouTube TV sponsorships everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just the current state. You know what's funny? They recently brought back showing the lineups, and they ain't done that in like 5+ years. I didn't realize it was that long.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like the NBA, they put more effort into the
advertising.
Advertising. What's the tournament
to the reporters?
Oh, you talking about the play in?
Yeah, they put.
Oh, not the play in and the you talking about the season in season tournament.
In season
tournament.
They put more. They honestly put more effort into that instead of the finals. They really do. The court.
Well,
the
isn't
crazy
it
court
isn't it
design,
called
the jerseys?
Isn't it called the Kia Most Valuable Player Award for the car? Like, didn't they? Don't they have like a sponsor for the?
They've been having that for
MVP?
years.
Has it really been that long? Like, I don't remember.
Yeah, a long time.
I don't remember Shaquille O'Neal winning the Honda Most Valuable Player Award. Like, I mean,
just
like, you know what I mean?
It was just you got the Larry
He's been
O'Brien
around for a
trophy
long
and
time.
Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the Dwight Howard? Remember the Dwight Howard dunking over the Kia?
Oh yeah, I mean,
And
come
all
on.
that. Yeah, it's been around for.
It's a business. They're gonna have that product placement. They got to make their money.
Right.
But onto the point of this sports media and the state of things, you know, I just think, you know, these days it's a shame because it's hard for teams, great teams that have entertained us, have done their job, have won the championships, have gotten over that mountaintop, and they got to be faced with half the people going to be hating the next day. Like, why? Because those people are interested in getting reactions from others. And, you know, you don't get reactions for saying something nice about something. You get reactions for saying something dumb or something hateful. And that's what social media is all about. And that's what all these debate shows are like. And it's, you know, a lot of times some of these other people on the debate shows, their job is to do what they're told to speak about in order to give Stephen A. a good debate, in order to counterbalance off what Stephen A. wants to talk about. And it ain't really about what their opinion is. It's what can they do to entertain in the scope of being under Stephen A.'s umbrella. So, but I do like Stephen A. I do find him a great entertainer. I like listening to the guy, but he doesn't know half the time what he's talking about.
That's why I got burnt out from ESPN, though. I stopped watching years ago, to be honest.
This season, in my opinion, two of the best stories, well, you know, other than OKC winning, but two of the best stories this season were Detroit Pistons and what the Cavs were doing. What both them teams were doing was incredible, especially the Pistons. But it's like it took for a LeBron interview for ESPN to finally talk about these teams when you could have really been talking about these teams. You know what I'm saying? They just is we all know it's Lakers, Cowboys, you know, who the face of the league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're probably gonna ask about the face of the league tomorrow. I'm sure of it. If
Well,
not, they already done it.
During the finals, I seen somebody put a picture up on Instagram. They were talking about freaking Dallas Cowboys. Like, why y'all talking about this should be a big old segment about the finals, about
They'll
the
talk
breakdown. Like, I can talk about so much
legacy.
Yeah, like
But-
who cares?
Well, forget
freaking
about
cares?
the Cowboys. Forget about the Cowboys. Leading up to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the Kevin Durant trade took up half the spotlight. I mean, Kevin Durant, yeah, sure, he's going to go down as one of the top 20 players in league history. The man is going to be 38 years old, and I mean, he's way past his prime. And then up until game time, that was sharing the spotlight to the most pivotal game, the most important game by far in your game's season, in your sports season. So, I mean, I completely get what Mose is saying.
Mhm.
And also the rant that Charles Barkley had calling out Kendrick Perkins specifically when he was saying how the Lakers and the Warriors saved the NBA season. And Barkley was highlighting how great Cleveland was doing and Oklahoma City was doing. And, he was so spot on about how you're only focusing on 10-15% of the teams in the league. And, it's been a problem, especially with the NBA for a long. I don't know if they had this kind of problem with the NFL.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
it really seems that they spread the wealth for football. And I could tell you right now, excuse me, basketball, it's so segmented to the all the elite teams getting all of the attention.
I want to add on to what you just said. The NFL, I wish the NBA would just watch the NFL and just copy its model, because the NFL is on autoplay.
Mhm.
Whoever the team that's having the best success from tier 1 to tier 5, that's how it goes. Doesn't matter if that team is in Timbuktu, hell, they're 12-2, they're getting the coverage.
Mhm.
The NFL has always been king to that. It doesn't matter who or what. All that matters is who's winning, who's producing. That's who's gonna get the spotlight.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's why NFL is king. So they know how to market their teams, even though they might be a small market. They still gonna get the coverage because people like to hear that, and the
Look,
NBA need to take notice. Like the fans were screaming about the Larry Brown O'Brien trophy on the court. Like, why they just didn't throw it on the court for him? Like, there was
I
just
don't
something
get it.
so simple that they wanted, and they're like, they didn't do it.
Let me comment on that too, real quick, because I'm with Most and Randy also. ESPN is lazy, and I'm hoping NBC comes in and does us a solid with production if they can get the finals. There's no reason for ESPN to not have or the NBA also, because shame on them too, not to have a finals logo, to have the finals in cursive written out on the floor instead of YouTube TV.
Mhm.
There's other places you can put YouTube TV. I agree with most who saying, look, they color the courts for the in-season tournament. You get different jerseys. Bring that type of flair to the NBA Finals, and I'm guessing their minds are on autopilot also, because I guess they assume that they're going to get a certain amount of viewers. So I feel like they're just being lazy, and they feel like they don't have to, because 16.7 million people watched Game 7 last night. So I'm like I said, I'm assuming that they figure in their minds that they don't have to do too much, but
Right.
they're going to have to.
Eventually. So with that being said, we're gonna switch gears. T-Mac, he talked about not winning a championship. So I want y'all to listen to this video and y'all give me your thoughts.
Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Right.
Yeah, is it
No,
my fault?
that's-
My fault.
Right.
I was never put in that position, Steve.
Man, Neil and I
the-
could go off on this one.
The question is, T-Mac is saying, if y'all give me Shaq 2, I'm winning the championship also. You agree or disagree with him?
This is a tough question, man, because T-Mac ain't never been out the first round. I mean, does he need Shaq to carry him to the championship? Is that what he's saying? Because, look, T-Mac was a great player. I thoroughly enjoyed watching T-Mac throughout his career, man. I got fond memories of watching him in the regular season. Damn it, because he ain't never done nothing in the playoffs memorable. And the one year that he got injured for the Rockets that's when Yao Ming took them to the second round, that year that he didn't actually play. And he had Yao Ming for a lot of those years, and that was a pretty good tandem as well. But, they couldn't get it done. And, I mean, look, man, when he's talking about replacing Kobe with him, you don't do that to a man who's won 5 championships, has twice been finals MVP without Shaq, and you've never felt the heat of battle of even the second round. Kobe's been dominating finals his entire career. Don't just sit there and say, because I was a great regular season player, that suddenly I have the ability to go and battle in the NBA finals, in the Western Conference finals year after year. Mamba mentality. I don't know that T-Mac had the Mamba mentality, to be honest. He had the skills, but I think he rested on his laurels a little too much, and he didn't evolve his game such like Kobe did. He maybe wasn't as dominant on the defensive end like Kobe was. Again, defense wins championships, but Kobe also had that Mamba leadership that he used to, that Jordan type leadership that he would drill into his guys. And the way he, again, give a lot of guys Shaq in his prime, and you're going to win a championship. So I don't know if that separates T-Mac from anybody else, but as soon as he put himself in replacement of Kobe, that's where I had the issue. Because T-Mac's never had those battles, and just because he was a great player doesn't mean he's winning those battles.
Randy, your thoughts on that? You don't think T-Mac would have got a championship if he was on the Lakers instead?
I mean, I think he could. I think he could have maybe gotten 1 or 2. I don't know if he's going to get 5, but Tracy McGrady, I mean, he made his bed. I mean, rightfully so. He left a solid situation in Toronto to sign with Orlando, his hometown. And especially when the Raptors were making the finals and winning in 19, he has said time and time again how much he regretted not staying in Toronto, that he could have built something with Vince Carter. And then he unceremoniously wanted out of Orlando, and things didn't work out too great in Houston either. So, I mean, is his career diminished because he didn't win a championship? I'm sorry, T-Mac. Yes, you're correct. I mean, you are not in the same pedestal as Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry and LeBron James. You're not. You and Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley are in the other category. You're a star. You didn't win. But, yeah, I mean, sure, if you put Allen Iverson with Shaquille O'Neal, if you put Charles Barkley with Shaquille O'Neal, if, maybe they could have. I'm sure they could have won a championship or 2, but, that didn't happen. And Tracy McGrady, a lot of those decisions was because of T-Mac's doing.
Dang, Randy, you didn't hold back on the guy.
Hell no. I mean, I'd love to hear it. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
you guys think I'm wrong?
Me and Randy may have a personal bias. He did leave. Hey, we might have been playing the Lakers in the championship if he had stayed. So I don't think there was that. Subconscious works in weird ways, just like Randy's.
Yeah,
I'll never forget. Neil. Very quickly, Swift. I was at Air Canada Center for McGrady's first game as a member of the Orlando Magic, and the vitriol that came down because Raptor fans, and who knows if McGrady saw it in his first couple years in Orlando, but there was a foundation for something very special that could have happened in Toronto if Tracy McGrady didn't stick around. And hey, rightfully so. If you take a look at the guys who started their career in Toronto, I mean, DeMar DeRozan aside, Vince Carter dogged it the last little bit when he was in Toronto. Damon Stoudemire dogged it. Tracy McGrady didn't, right? So I mean, you got to give it to him on that. But he didn't want to share a spotlight with Vince Carter. That's what the belief was, and he signed big dollars to go back home.
Yeah,
Can't fault him for that.
you can't. With Tracy, his problem was his injuries too. He dealt with a lot of injuries, and that derailed his abilities to go for the championship a lot of times. Flowers, T-Mac, he at least get 1 or 2 with Shaq and the Lakers.
I mean, you just said it honestly, and that's my mindset about him. Injuries. I mean, does he make it through a season? Does he survive long enough to be able to make it to a championship round with Shaq? I mean, who knows? I mean, talent wise, McGrady's wonderful. I mean, him and Kobe, 2002, 2001, and such. Great look, awesome. Back and forth with each other. I remember those battles, but I mean, I think I wrote on a Facebook post like when this when this question came up, and I just wrote, I mean, you already had your shot at trying. I mean, we can't sit up here and disannounce that Houston team that he had. He had Yao Ming. He had a great roster. He had Artest one year. He had a lot of
He had
guys in
Trevor.
Houston.
He had
Yeah,
Trevor Reese, did he?
he might have. He did. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, Shane
he might have had
Shane
He had
Battier.
Battier, he had Ray
Aaron Brooks.
Boston. Hell, they had a good team. But just overall, just if we take Shaq out of the equation, Kobe won 2 championships without him. So I just think that's in the story with that. Like I say, it's no disrespect to McGrady, but when people say that person has that it factor, that's that it factor right there. Is Kobe, like I say, winning 2 without Shaq, finding a way. That's that it factor that people talk about, that some people have. Everybody doesn't have it. McGrady had something, but he didn't have what Kobe had. Kobe had it.
Well,
Yeah,
to add to your point, Flowers, like those 2 championships that Kobe won without Shaq, you replace Kobe with Tracy McGrady. I don't think they're going to win.
No.
Yeah, they're not. Most likely not. Yeah, definitely not against the Celtics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
One thing I'll say
Well,
about T-Mac though is that he seemed to have the great respect of the best players in the league. Kobe showed him a lot of love, and when in interviews he would say that T-Mac was my toughest opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some credence that one has to give to T-Mac if his peers held him in such high regard, even though he may not have been the winner that he could have been if different circumstances had come out. He definitely earned his respect, but he just didn't earn that highest level of respect.
One more thing before you move on the most. I know you want to get in most, but just now that I'm just thinking, McGrady in the East at that time, the East wasn't great. And Detroit, had submerged. Indiana, was pretty good at that time. Milwaukee, 76ers. I feel like the Magic should have been able to be a little better than they were at that time. Now that I look back, now if they get Tim Duncan, we might be talking, a different tune, but it didn't happen. But I still feel like as big of a scoring threat as McGrady was at that time. Like you say, Orlando never made it out the first round.
Yep. Go ahead, Most. Give your thoughts.
Man, we bringing up Shaq, but if I'm correct, one year the Magic could have had got Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
And with T-Mac and Grant Hill, assuming if everybody was healthy, I think they would have won at least one with that. But here's my thing with T-Mac and the whole panel. Well, I'm gonna just talk about T-Mac. Like at the end of the day, you was part of that Doc Rivers 3-1 lead teams.
Yep.
You was up 3-1 twice, and you never got out the first round. Now, I don't diminish that on any player because his playoff number was great at the end of the day. He did all he could do, but at the same time, I mean, we all know you'll win one with Shaq. You'll probably win one with Tim Duncan, but it just I'm tired of this ring conversation. I mean, put somebody on the panel that actually got a ring. You know, no, what I'm saying. We got a guy that blew through a 3-1 lead twice, a guy who ruined his career driving a motorcycle, and another guy who pulled a gun in the locker room. Talking about ring culture.
It's kind of too late for that now, man. I mean, yeah, it's too late to wallow up in your misery about not getting a ring
for what they did individually, but it's like, man, you either got it or you don't.
Right. I just think you want champions. Speaking on champions at that time.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, like let's take a look into the future. And are we going to hear Ja Morant say, "Oh, I could have won this and I could have won this MVP"? But I mean, look how irresponsible Ja Morant was with the guns and the Instagram stories and all that. And you know, how many? Take a look at Zion Williamson. I mean, with his diet and such. You know, are they dedicated to their craft like LeBron James was, especially in those years in Cleveland and Miami, like how Shea is now, maybe those guys in Denver and Boston and so on. So I'm not saying that McGrady was irresponsible by, you know, seeking out big dollars, but, you know, it is tired. Like I'm with most, like I'm so tired of I could have done this and I could have been a star if, you know, put me into the league now, and I could have completely run the league, and nobody cares what could have happened.
Right, nobody really thinking about that right now. D Bish, man, better late than never. Mr. Always late.
Got caught up in stuff for that.
Making a grand appearance.
So, man, we were talking about T-Mac, and I don't know you heard what he said about him not winning the championship, that he felt like he could have won if he was playing with Shaq and the Lakers. You think so?
I mean, I think he could have, but I don't think that's an excuse. I don't know if anybody mentioned it already, but I remember that Rockets team he had with Yao, Ray for Austin, that dude from Spain,
Luis
Scola, yeah.
Man,
oh yeah, Luis Scola, dang,
crazy post player.
Yeah, so I don't think he made it out the first round with them even, and that was a pretty good squad. So I don't think that's an excuse. I mean, in the early 2000s, before probably 2003, 2004, you put almost any good all-star or superstar caliber guard with Shaq, you know, he's gonna make it easy for you. But yeah, I think it's an excuse. You know, he didn't win a championship. He was a pretty good player. It's unfortunate injuries cut his career a little short. And it's definitely unfortunate that the year he would have won a championship, Ray Allen hit that F3. Yeah, man, I'm tired of hearing it. You know, I think most of the players should be like Charles Barkley and be like, hey, you know, I had a good career. I didn't win one. It is what it is. It doesn't, you know, take away from the player I am and move on. There's nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah, it's weird that you bring it up now because he usually don't talk like that. He usually don't really. So I wondered if somebody get underneath his skin where he had to come out and say what he need to say. But who knows? You're right.
I'm pretty sure it bothers him. Like you was part of that up 3-1 teams and you couldn't get it done. Yeah, and it hurts that the fact that they couldn't get Tim Duncan that summer. Man, he hurt, man. But
all they had to do was just let the man wife on the plane. I mean,
that's all he had to do.
That was on top.
All he had to do.
I would have cleaned up the seat. Like, man, y'all can sit right there. You know,
sit right there in the front, or y'all want the back.
Exactly.
You want mine? You want my seat? So, all right. So the big trade went down Sunday. Who sent to our group chat? Was it you, Dustin, that sent that KD trade?
Nah,
It
that
was
man.
one of y'all. It might have been Tyler. But Kevin Durant was traded to the Rockets, and Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks was sent to the Suns with the number 10 pick in the 2025 NBA draft and 5 second-round picks. In Gatwood's words, we fleeced them. That's what he said. He's excited. Flowers, man. Your thoughts on KD and the Rockets?
It's not a shocker. I mean, I was in the chat after the Rockets lost. I was saying they're gonna go get KD or Booker, one of the two, and they ended up getting KD. I mean, I said they give up Jalen. I mean, the trade kind of went high, kind of prescribed. I can go back and show you this too.
Yep, you said it. You said it.
I mean, I said you had to give up Jalen Green. You keep, some of them young guys. They gave away the 10 pick and 5 second rounders. The Suns devalue Kevin Durant's trade value as far as losing for the past 2 years, and he's 37. I wouldn't want to give up the house, the car, the dog, and the kids for Kevin Durant either. But I will throw y'all this curve. Before I got on the pod, I did see that the Cleveland Cavaliers offered Darius Garland straight up with Kevin Durant. I did see that. I was like, oh man, look, I'm surprised Phoenix didn't take it because that solves a problem for them. They need a point guard. They need a point guard. Darius Garland would have been perfect for them, and KD would have been pretty damn near perfect for the Cavs. Because they needed somebody like that. So that's not a bad trade. But hey, he wanted to go to Houston. He wanted to be somewhere in Texas. I think Spurs was his first choice. Does it put the Rockets over the needle? I'm not going to say that. I think that he gives them some consistency as far as scoring. They hang their hat on defense, but I'm just not sitting here. I'm not going to sit up here and say that right there is going to put the Houston Rockets over the hump when I'm looking at teams like Oklahoma City, Spurs,
Denver,
like Denver retools. So I'm saying it's so much going on in the Wild Wild West. Of course, it's always been like this with the West for the past 30, 40 years. With the West, it's always been this. I think I said 2 weeks ago I'd rather seen them in Minnesota or New York. The Eastern Conference is wide open right now. If I'm a superstar, I am trying to get to the Eastern Conference because that is a road less taken right now. But I don't think Houston gave up too much, like 5 second round picks. I don't even think Phoenix got their draft rights back from Houston. So it had to be done on Phoenix's end. They're not going to hold on to Jalen Green. So maybe they try to flip him for a young point guard. We'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. Neil, like Flowers mentioned, did it move the needle for the Rockets?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think so. Now, look, does it move them to, as far as we think making it to a championship? I don't know about all that, but certainly it moved the needle significantly for them as a serious team. Now, look, KD's, we all know, advanced stage, all that type of stuff. Great player. I'm not the biggest KD fan. I'm of the mindset that KD has been a little bit overrated as an all-time player. People say top 20 got all-time. Look, he doesn't have the elite winner, that intangible of winning inside of him, that leadership, that winning mentality. I never saw it from KD. He had to go to Golden State, who already had that in place, to win. He's a great player, though. He's a great player offensively and whatnot. But I do think that this was a great move by Houston. Some people have been hearing that Phoenix won the deal. I don't know where they're coming from because everything that Kevin Durant does well and still does well is exactly what the Rockets were weak at. And whatever the Rockets are strong at covers up for KD's age and whatever his weaknesses are. So it's actually a great match, in my opinion. I mean, they needed a closer, man. Too many times I saw these Rockets just like discombobulated at the end of games, not knowing what the heck they're supposed to do. They need the closer like KD who can come in. He can relax a little bit. These other guys, these young guns, they can go off and they can do most of the work. A lot of nights they can do all the work. KD won't have to do too much, but they're going to need him to come in there, score, get his easy shots. Certainly not work as hard as he had to in Phoenix because, man, he was putting miles on his body, it seemed like every night in Phoenix, trying to will these guys back in a lot of these games. So for me, I thought that Houston did very well by not actually giving up much that they're going to miss. I mean, Jalen Green, I don't see him as a winning player. I see his ceiling as maybe a pretty good sixth man of the year candidate in the future. That's my opinion of Jalen Green. Like, maybe I'll be totally wrong about that, but Dylan Brooks, they got other guys that can hold down and lock down the defensive anchors, such as M.N. Thompson, who's, in my opinion, is a future superstar.
Mhm.
And they got guys waiting in the wings already, so they don't really need that draft. But they got Cam Whitmore, who's been pining for some more playing time. He's a nice young player.
Mhm.
They don't need that 10th pick. They already got like the lottery pick that's waiting to come up in Cam Whitmore. So to me, all these young Rockets, they got the playoff experience. They were the second seed. They showed a lot of growth. And Emin Thompson and Şengün in particular showed a lot of growth as far as their future starhood prosperities or stardom prosperities. And so it seems like the perfect time to make this move. Katie's got a coach that he's going to respect in Udoka.
Mhm.
And so I like the move, man, because it's for them. They don't got to pay none of those guys until Katie's out the door. So just pay the guy now, see what you can do, build off his experience, and take it from there. It was a good move by the Rockets.
Yes, indeed. Well, we saw a video of KD. He looking surprised that he got traded. I don't know if he looked pleased or not. He didn't really show the emotion. Randy, do you think KD wanted to be somewhere else?
Well, I mean, Phoenix was 10 games under 500. So anything, I'm sure that he wouldn't mind change the scenery. I know KD is who he is, but I don't know if this is a lock. I don't know if there's going to be a quote winner or loser of this trade. And the reason why I say that is I caught, I can't remember if it was ESPN, but the Rockets are going to decline Fred VanVleet's player option for next year. So if you don't have a point guard, to lead Houston, then what's Houston going to be? And with a soon to be 38-year-old Kevin Durant, are we just too married and just too in love with what they did in the past? I'm completely with Neil that Kevin Durant didn't have that leader mentality he had to Golden State. I completely get it. But KD was one of the best players in the league, but that was a decade ago. I mean, his best years are probably Oklahoma City. So I don't know if it's going to be that much of a difference maker. I personally would be shocked if Houston does make a conference finals or NBA finals next year.
I can see him making the conference finals. I mean, I'm not going to short him, Randy, because, I mean, Durant gave you 26, 27 last year. He's still efficient. He's probably still damn near 50, 40, 90 guy. So I'm with you when we all say that Kevin Durant is not an alpha. Kevin Durant just wants to be KD. He wants to come in, do his thing, go home. Cool with that. In this point of his career, he needs to be with somebody that, like you say, you can just put him in. He can be himself. He can come in, do his job. He doesn't have to be the guy. I just think Kevin, like as time went on, we found that out about Kevin Durant, that he's laid back guy. He's not trying to be out front. He just comes to do his jobs. That's one thing I've always admired about him. But it's time for him to kind of dial it back. He's not. He doesn't need to be your number one guy. He needs to be a complimentary piece, a great complimentary piece, of course.
But I mean, and he's making over $50 million. So I mean, you're not going to be able to be a complimentary piece when you're making that kind of scratch. Like, I just don't see him being that much of a difference maker anymore. I mean, you were kind of alluding to that as well, Flowers. But yeah, I mean, at that kind of money, and maybe he might. I don't know. Might be his last contract. Is he going to re-sign? I doubt it. But yeah, just to be a complimentary piece on a team like Houston, I mean, Şengün, is he going to be that difference maker? Şengün, I don't see it.
I'm quite sure Houston is expecting the men to take a step. I think that's probably one of the things that they're batting on, for Amen Thompson to ascend. I'm quite sure they probably bring Fleet back unless they find somebody cheaper. You know, they say they need a point guard.
Yeah. So that's a good question y'all brought up about KD not really want to be that guy. He's clearly the oldest person on the team. So Mose, man, who would be that? He brought up a
Actually,
man.
you know what's funny about that?
Mhm.
Jeff Green is on the team, and he is 2 years older
Right.
at 38.
So Mose, who would be that alpha? I mean, you need a leader. Who would be the leader of that young core?
Head
I mean,
coach.
you still got Fred VanVleet and a guy like Steven Adams. You know, they still a pretty young team. Look, Houston brought KD in because they needed a consistent scorer. So you go get that with him. You don't necessarily need KD to lead the team. You know what I'm saying? You have other players on that team that could lead. And especially if you have a player like Amen Thompson, who I'm pretty sure is going to keep on improving. So, in my opinion, if they do bring Fred VanVleet back, you got players like him, Steven Adams, you got Amen Thompson. Kind of give it up, kind of trust your young core to figure things out. It's gonna take about a few years, but I think eventually they in the right direction.
So KD is their SGA. They got a whole bunch of pieces. They just need somebody to step up the right time, right moments, and do it for them, huh?
Well, he's just a part of the equation that Udoka is building. I mean that's who they lean on. If we want to be real, that they had on defense this year. That's a reflection of the coach.
Look,
So they don't need Kevin Durant to bark at them. Hell, that's what they got Mecca Udoka for.
right.
So KD ain't barking anybody. Dustin, man. We saw the Suns make this trade. They had like 10 guards on their team. Um, what you do with the Suns? What how would you manage the Suns right now?
The Suns just got to start over. They just got to start over. They just got to go from scratch. The Suns, yeah, they have the whole Bradley Beal KD experiment. I don't even know why they did that after they saw like how everything in Brooklyn turned out. And especially they kind of did the whole big three thing. Is that trend was starting to end. I don't know what they were thinking. I still don't know does anybody know what they're gonna do with Bradley Beal?
He got a no trade clause.
No trade.
I heard they're
clause.
gonna buy him out. I heard they're gonna buy him out.
I wouldn't be shocked if they bought him. I mean, because if he doesn't want to get traded, I mean, they're gonna have to.
That's what I'm saying. This situation is, what does Bradley Beal want to do with them?
Well,
I mean,
he's got a player option for $57.1 million.
He ain't declining
He's
that.
not about to
26,
decline
27. Hell no, of course not. No. So yeah, he's staying in Phoenix.
Well,
But he's not going to get bought out for sure.
The Suns, I mean, if I was Suns, I'd just do what I can. They're not going to be a contender anytime soon until they can get rid of that Bradley Beal contract.
You guys think they should trade?
I feel bad for D-Book.
You guys think they should?
that's what I'm about to say. If you D-Book, how frustrated are you right now?
He's
Like,
not.
is
He's
it
about
time
to
to
get
go?
$70 million a year. He ain't frustrated.
I say true.
Yeah, you're right. They new kids don't want to win like that.
I mean, think about it. I said I'm not knocking D-Book, but I mean he's been to the finals. I mean,
That's what I mean.
He said he wants to be there.
D-Book, like his projection, D-Book had been in the finals. We thought he was going to, eventually. I thought he was going to win a chip before Jason Tatum, to be honest with you. He, had that 70-point game. I thought as a player, I thought he'd be much more than what he is right now. I thought he'd have many more career accolades than he does right now, based on how he was earlier in his career. Honestly, if I'm D-Book and I'm looking at my legacy, I'd want to get away from the Suns and go somewhere where I could be a good contender for a championship, because like he really plateaued after they got to the NBA finals that year.
Yeah, if I
Well,
was
I mean,
Phoenix,
I definitely think Phoenix is a lot better after this trade. I mean, are they going to make the play in? Are they going to threaten for a playoff spot? I mean, with Brooks and Jalen Green, you got an additional player that could bring some value to the team. So, maybe you're one legit piece away, or maybe you're a couple of role players away.
yeah, Randy,
maybe
I'm
if
gonna
I
have
was
to
I
disagree
don't
with
know,
you.
Randy.
I think they're a lot worse. Actually,
Well, I got a question. Who would be who do you guys think would be the number 2 now?
There's no peace, man. In my opinion, they're lost.
I think it'd be Jalen Green.
Or Bradley Beal.
But we saw Jalen
Yeah,
Green
they're
be
saying they're gonna
confused
trade
and up and
Green.
down.
They're
Yeah.
talking about rerouting Jalen Green. They're not gonna keep him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pair Jalen Green with
If I was
like,
Phoenix, man, I would take the emotion out of it and I would trade D-Book at an all-time high value that he's
I
going to
would
have.
too.
right, yeah,
He's
trade
gonna
while it's
have
high. The
value
value
this
is high.
Right now, people still
Yes.
look at him and say, "Oh, he could be a first-team All-NBA type guy, possibly the right situation. He's still elite." But after this year, if they let it play out in Phoenix, who the heck knows what his value is going to be after this? If they were smart, they'd go full in on this rebuild. Trade D-Book, do right by him if you can, but get the biggest load you can back. And because the West is about to be loaded with all these teams we just mentioned: Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, OKC, of course, Minnesota, all these teams.
Mhm.
Like, what does Phoenix have in the next 5 years? They got no shot at doing nothing special. So you might as well prepare for when those teams are past their hill. In my opinion, if you were Phoenix right now, that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so
Like,
Jalen Green being 23, he I don't know. Maybe you guys have more of an idea of what Jalen Green can offer, but I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet.
I think he's at his ceiling. I mean, he's been playing he's been in the league for a few years now. In my opinion, Randy, when you get into the playoffs, this is a part to where, well, in my opinion, you see players when they ascend or they plateau. He didn't ascend. His game didn't evolve. I was expecting. I seen Sengun evolve. I seen Amin evolve. Fred, he's
Issa.
champion. He's a champion. He showed up. Jalen Green was too inconsistent when they needed him to be consistent. I was on here a few months ago saying they're paying this kid almost $200 million for what? And I'm not trying to count this kid's pockets, but all I'm saying is if you're paying someone that kind of money, there's a expected consistency that comes with the role, and he didn't provide it. That's why he's gone.
Perhaps.
That's what we saw in the playoffs. We saw Gatwood very frustrated with
Man,
Jalen Green
don't
performance.
be hard on the kid, man. He got that.
Hey, he got sugar on,
and he
man. He
averages
can
20.
take all of it. He
Hold
can
on
take
now.
any criticism.
Let me say
Just
this.
throw
Let
it
me
at
say
him.
this. Because I will never get on here and throw anybody under the bus, but I have to call things like I see it. The kid can play ball, don't get me wrong, but you have superstars, you have stars, and you have the up and comers, and he's somewhere in between an up and comer and a star, and it's more of the up and coming side. He hasn't ascended. He needs to take the next step. And I don't think you can knock me for saying I want to see this guy evolve. Hell, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you wanted to see Kakarot and Company turn into a damn Super Saiyan. We need Jalen Green to become a Super Saiyan. We need him to ascend.
I
don't
don't
see
think,
that.
but I don't
I don't
think
see
we'll.
it. I
don't
see
think
him
we'll
being
see
a
that
really
with the
good Trevor
Suns.
Ariza.
And that's fine. And that's gonna get him what $300 million in his career. Do you want to be a champion? Is my question.
Yeah, I see him being playing a role for a team that's like a really good sixth man, like a Lou Williams, like a Jamal Crawford, maybe at his peak, maybe not even Jamal Crawford, maybe like a Jason Terry someday when he's a veteran, older. But he's never going to be the number one or even the number two on a title team, in my opinion. And I don't even know if he's a winning player the way he's so inefficient in today's game. Phoenix got to get something for him, I hope, and I just don't know what team he'd fit on. And for that matter, yeah, Phoenix just needs to rebuild.
And it's gonna be a crazy offseason for the NBA. It's gonna be a lot of moving parts going on, especially for some of these teams that compete for a championship. Everybody trying to get key pieces now, so I expect some more trades to go down. So Jeanie Buss, what do you say, Flowers?
I said, oh yeah, a whole lot more trades coming.
Jeanie Buss, the controlling owner for the Los Angeles Lakers, have agreed to sell the majority stake to Mark Walton. I believe he's the owner of the Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
The Lakers' value was approximately $10 billion. End of an era, right?
May I start this one?
Yeah.
Because I have a question for Neil and Randy, because y'all are older, and I mean that respectfully. Now, when Dr. Buss died, I recall Jeanie and her brothers having a court battle, right? For ownership of the Lakers, because
I think there was
the brothers want to say. Then the brothers want to sell, and Jeanie wanted to keep, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Yeah. There was a ESPN feature, wasn't there, Neil? Was it a Beyond the Glory or E60 piece on the Buss?
Could have been. I do know that she was the primary force keeping the team within the family.
Mm-hmm. She wanted to keep the team in the family. I just think it's ironic that she fought her brothers to keep, the team with the Buss family, and 12, 15 years later she sells it.
Well, I mean, by holding on to it, she probably gained about $1 billion.
Of course, the value from then to now, of course, doubled. Of course,
yeah.
I look. If somebody offered me $10 billion for a team that my father bought for what? How much did he buy the Lakers for? What, like
$67 million or
$20?
Plus, you get to keep 15%.
Right. I know. It was kind of the irony in it, because can we? I only feel that way because I don't know if Dr. Buss would have sold the team if he was alive. I just don't. I don't think he would have. And I feel like he left the legacy, the Lakers, to his daughter, because this is my opinion, because I felt like he felt like she wouldn't sell that team. That's just my opinion, though. Like I said, I'm not knocking that she sold it. I just remember the battle for about 12, 13 years. Maybe she was thinking ahead of her time. Like, hey, maybe I can get some more value for the Lakers and sell them down the road. Maybe that was her whole game plan all along. I don't know, but I just feel like Dr. Buss left her in charge, because I just think that the way he loved the Lakers, I thought that she loved the Lakers the same, and she wouldn't sell it.
The way she ran the Lakers in that group, man, they didn't love the Lakers. They didn't love them. That's why that's why they got out of it. It don't sit right with me, man. That team been in that family for a good long time, and it just end of an era. I hate to see it end like that. Of her,
you got a great owner. Look, I'm not gonna knock it.
I know,
that's a great owner that bought the team now.
But it's just the Buss family. You had the Yankees owner with Stein. What's it, Steinbrenner?
Oh, you talking Steinbrenner?
Yeah,
it's just these long history of families owning some of these teams, these historic franchises that just bring that aura and glory to that team, man. So it's just like,
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Somebody offered $10 billion to buy
$10 billion. That's a lot of money. $10 billion.
I don't know, man.
And then I get to stay on and be the governor too.
It's like, man, it's almost like your podcast, Randy.
Hold on. $10 billion and 15%.
Mm-hmm. It's just, man, it's something that it's like a family heirloom. It been in the family for a long time.
Yeah, that was my only thing. That was my only
yeah, but and play devil's advocate here, but maybe the connection with the Lakers, like you had all those longtime Lakers, you had the Worthies and the Magics and the Kareems, and then the next generation was Shaq and Kobe, and maybe there was a disconnect between the Buss family and those old school Lakers. And I mean, obviously, as we've all said, how are you going to deny $10 billion for something that your props
Y'all,
you got an offer that
group.
but y'all forgot the main person that might come in within this deal.
Oh man,
Magic
no
Johnson.
doubt.
Yeah.
He's somewhere back there pulling strings now, of course.
Magic Johnson, part owner of the Dodgers already. I mean, it's, you
probably put them in the room together.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I would be okay if Magic
Just gotta
Johnson
get on
took over the Lake. I would be okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But
And he owns the part of the Dodgers with the
Yeah.
same guy. So one only assumes that, if he wants a little piece of the Lakers, he gonna get it.
yeah, I bet RC happy to see Jeanie Buss go. That's all I really want to hear talk about this, because he do not like that the owners of the organization, because he feel like they made some questionable moves, man. And they made a lot of questionable moves over the years. That
when you get into the
predicament.
LeBron sweepstakes, I mean, you kind of say you sell your soul. You know, I think I've said on here before, LeBron has diminished the Lakers brand with just LeBron's brand, alone. It's never like it should never be that a player is big. I gotta bring up the NFL again, because no one player is bigger than the organization, that he plays for with the NFL, and it should be the same way in the NBA. You can admire what LeBron James is doing and has done. Yeah, we're gonna cherish LeBron James forever, but the Lakers, it has to be like how the Yankees oral is always the Yankees. Like nobody's bigger than the Yankees.
Look,
it got to be there for the Lakers also. I mean, it's there for the Celtics. It's got to be there for the Lakers.
And let me add on to that, Flowers. Like, to me, I felt like the Lakers weren't really the Lakers no more. The moment Staples, the moment they changed the
Staples to
name.
crypto.
Every team, regardless of sports, it's like when you think of the Green Bay Packers, you think about Lambeau Field, or you think about Soldier Field, Fenway, all these stadiums, and it's like, I don't know, these names are important because they are part of your history. And as soon as the name changed for me, it just, it's just not part of history no more. It just doesn't hit the same. Cryptocurrency just doesn't hit the same.
You know what did it most? I got to tell you, what did it for me was having the white Laker jerseys, the white Laker jerseys instead of the gold and the purple. I was like,
about the Sunday alternates. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, I have a white jersey. Come on, you don't like
but
those?
I mean, that goes against the tradition. I mean, more than the name of the arena. Like, I mean, are you gonna want to see a Yankees jersey with no pinstripes? You know what I mean? It's that white jersey. I don't know. I thought that was a bigger deal. I mean, like now these days, of course, you have all the City Connect jerseys, but
they got black.
They got black and everything. But I mean, that white Laker jersey that's been around before Kobe changed his jersey number to 24. So it's been around for a while.
Jersey. I think there's another reason. It's a small reason maybe, but why NFL is king. And even me in Canada, I think NFL is king, and there's no question about it. But you got all these teams that are staying in the family. They go through the generations. They got that culture that starts from the top down. Pittsburgh and the Mara family and all these different families doing it. The Chiefs Hunt family. So I think it's rare to see that these days, and like the NBA is more of a business decision, not a family decision.
And
NFL, you got a business too.
And hockey does it well. Hockey does it well for like tradition and history. Like, it's easier to follow because you have some sort of connection, like with whatever team you rooting for. You know what I'm saying? Hockey does a good job with that.
Yeah, I think that's why we always talk about rivalry talks, because we feel like there's no more rivalries in the NBA. Where when the Lakers play against Celtics, that meant something. Like everybody watching that game, but now they play again like, we'll skip over this. It ain't nothing important. So it's like NBA lost a lot of its aura, to be honest. With all the
and I think there's also something about the television viewership, because yeah, sure. I'm probably the elder statesman of the group here. And when I was a little kid, there was only so many times where, I mean, the Leafs were really the only team in town. I mean, during the winter, Raptors weren't around until I was a teenager. But, out of the 82 games in the hockey season, you only saw 40 plus games. And now we see every single game from every single team. And, maybe 35 years ago, you don't see your favorite team play every single time, right? And now we take it for granted because we could just go on NBA or respective NBA packages. We could go on YouTube and catch all the highlights. We don't even need to see the whole game. We just see a segment of the good stuff that took place, right? So maybe that has something to do with the denigration of rivalries, and as Mos was saying.
Yeah, I think so too. And also the players being more friendly than usual. They hang out after the game, they trade jerseys, they talk about whatever they talk about. Come to play Call of Duty with me tonight on stream, they screaming together. It's just
sure they
yeah. I hate to play conspiracy theory on this one, but isn't it possible that Jordan and Patrick Ewing grabbed a steak during the summertime? Okay, Dream Team.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, Jordan hung out
all season.
Everybody.
All season is fine.
Their reputation, but Jordan mostly did it in a kind of conniving, deceitful fashion.
Yes.
Well, he did it in an era without social media.
He was really a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yes.
He learned all your secrets while hanging out with you.
He gives you the drinks, you pay for the drinks, and you give him dirt.
He gives you all the details, right? Like he gets all the details. I mean, I really do wonder how much more buddy things are now, and obviously, and it's because of social media. But 40 years ago, 50 years ago, if social media was around, is it really that much of a difference? I mean, like Charles Barkley and say Isaiah Thomas, maybe grabbing a beer after the game or something like that. I'm sure that these guys were boys. 40,
I don't know about after the game.
I don't know.
I don't know about after the game.
During the summer.
During the summer,
because during the summer, but I say no because how they be talking to each other. They be saying some crazy things when Jordan play against Isaiah and Larry Bird and Magic. They used to talk crazy to each other. So
Isaiah may be a bad example.
There's no way I'm talking to
Isaiah's
you
a bad example.
Isaiah's a bad. Okay, but fine.
We've heard stories of MJ, having drinks with a guy like the night before, a couple of days before. Like I said, Patrick Ewing was a great example. They were friends. So they would, like you say, I'm quite sure they would rendezvous, a day or two before the game. But look, as soon as the game, I just think as soon as the games came on back in the day prior to now, and I'm not going to disrespect last night because those guys competed last night.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I just think we got spoiled in the past 15 years with AAU, everybody being buddy. I just think that's what we're used to right now. But I'm quite sure those guys back in the day, like I say, before the game, two nights they played cards, they had drinks or whatever. But when it was time to play, they played. And we didn't question.
Yeah, we did.
And I think very quickly, just with the new age of these stars coming into the league, Swift, I mean, you could see a certain hunger in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, and is that going to continue? With are we going to see less and less load management? I think it's a possibility for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's what the NBA needs.
Yeah, that's why I think the OKC and Pacers was really good for the NBA. A lot of people don't think so, but I really enjoy it. It's been a while since I enjoyed the finals like that. Let's go over to some WNBA. So they always in the news for the wrong reasons. like just in the wrong reasons. So I have a video to show y'all. Angel Reese trademark Mebounds.
Oh, that's what I'd say. Whoever came up with the Mebounds thing, y'all ate that up because rebounds, Mebounds, rebounds, keybounds, T-bounds, T-bounds, anything that comes off that board, it's mine. It's mine. And a brand, that's 6 figures right there. Whoever came up with that, the trolling, I love when y'all do it, because like the ideas be good. Like when y'all have to alter my face and shit, because I'm cute. All right, whatever. Like that doesn't get me. But like when y'all came up with Mebounds, because statistically, all the rebounds that I get aren't always just mine. They're like the defenses too, or somebody else's on my team. But when y'all came up with Mebounds, y'all ate one little thing. Jeanie, we're working. We're gonna work with that. But yeah, happy game day.
I'm kind of a little speechless because I don't know.
I didn't really understand what the hell she was saying, but I mean, like,
I don't know what she was on. Maybe she had some coffee, some espresso, but she was barely.
What was she saying? Is she mad because like?
No, I think she was
saying rebound stats.
Because
I think
it seemed like people are trolling her for pad statting yeah.
She getting.
She grabbed
her own misses pretty much. Like, he's saying
Andre Blatch.
So
all I have to say is that all she could have said was, "Whoever thought of Mebounds, you just got me paid." Boom. That's the end of the video. Left it at that.
That's why that's why I think it bothers her. Y'all think she paying too much attention to social media and what's going on, what she hearing? Let's start with you, Dustin. You think she's bothered by Mebounds?
She's clearly bothered. But I think that she I think that Angel Reese is one of those players who's more in love with the fame than the game. I think she makes way more headlines for something she's doing on social media or a podcast rather than what she's doing on the basketball court. What was this, her second year in the league?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any improvement. I did have the opportunity to see her play at LSU in a preseason game. I wasn't impressed seeing it close up. She can only go left. She's a horrible free throw shooter. Zero footwork. Lisa Leslie was 100% spot on when she said that she needs to work on her layups. I didn't see anything particularly impressive or skillful about her game. She is athletic, and she does. To get rebounds, you have to put in some effort. So I'll give her that. But other than that, I wasn't impressed. I haven't seen any growth in her game. I think she needs a dose of humble pie, because the reality is she isn't on a Caitlin Clark level, nowhere near her level, in a matter of fact. So I think she should just be quiet, get in the gym, and let her game speak instead of making a TikTok video or Instagram reel, whatever that was.
I'm glad you brought up Caitlin Clark, because a lot of people blaming Caitlin for this, all the negativity toward Angel Reese. Flowers, do you think Caitlin Clark is the reason why Angel is getting all the hate and that people are wrong about her?
No, I don't think Caitlin Clark is the sole reason people hate on Angel Reese. You've heard me say quite a few times on here, I don't think Angel Reese's number one obligation is basketball. It needs to be, because she has all the tools in the world and she can be something special. I see it. Look, Dustin's right. Look, she's 6'3". Takes effort to be able to out hustle these people and get these rebounds. I understand that she's missing these layups and stuff. That's one thing she needs to work on. She needs to work on, in my opinion, she needs to get more consistent on from about 10 to 15 foot. Get a nice touch under the rim. I've seen her for the past 2 games hit a 3-point shot. I just think she just needs to focus on becoming a better basketball player instead of worrying about being an influencer, a model, because all that stuff's, down the road for her. She's so young. I just think she needs to focus on what supposedly is her love of basketball. Like I say, if basketball is truly what you love and what you want to do, focus on that. Because I see so much talent in Angel Reese, and I feel like she's wasting it because she's not taking things serious. I will say this though, just to give her some kind of praise in a sense. She started off the season terrible, but for the past week, she's been playing better. And it just goes to show you, if she focused more on basketball, on the basketball side of things, she wouldn't have to wait a month to figure out some things and to get on a better foot. She could be further along and that team could be better. She just needs to work harder. That's it.
I wonder if part of it is that, she's going to be tied now to Caitlin Clark for her whole career, because they came in the league together. They battled in college at the highest level together. I mean, she won a championship and Caitlin Clark did not. So she may have this somewhat of a delusion of grandeur that she somehow should be on the same level as Caitlin Clark, even though everyone knows that she don't got the game that Caitlin Clark has to warrant that type of, label. But so maybe part of it is that she sees that Caitlin Clark and, is getting all this whatever attention, endorsements, money off the court, this and that. And so maybe part of that is getting to Angel Reese's head a little bit, that she's trying to reach those, kind of catch up maybe, or get hers. And it's maybe taken away a little bit from her on the court kind of ability, like Flowers was saying. I wonder if that's part of it.
Yes,
I gotta say. Oh, sorry, Swift. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say, she probably needs to stay off social media for right now, especially how Chicago Sky is their record is looking like. So it's not a good look for her just talking about things that going on with her and Caitlin. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, well, that part I agree with. I mean, the Sky are terrible. I get it, but she's averaging a double-double. So I mean, that's pretty good.
Mebounds. That's where it is.
But
without the Mebounds, she's averaging 10.5 rebounds without the Mebounds. If you wanted to.
If she is that I haven't caught a lot of Sky games or Angel Reese. Like if she is stat padding, okay, what have you. But if she found something that could, garner some attention and some revenue and so on, like I kind of like it. I mean, if she's getting dogged at by I think that female athletes really do have a hard time because they either are, if they have the skill and the talent, they're really they get trolled at from their looks, and then they get trolled at from the skill altogether. And it is tough to be a female athlete, especially in this day and age. Now, maybe ironically enough, maybe it's the best time to be a female athlete because there is an opportunity to make a substantial living. But if there's an opportunity for any athlete, female athlete especially, to create a brand and generate a revenue, get more of a name. I mean, you guys tell me, does Angel Reese get a raw deal and gets criticized a hell of a lot more? Because Caitlin Clark, I mean, her team was 500 last year. They're and they still are now.
Yeah,
but I mean, everything Caitlin Clark touches is gold.
Let me say this. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Randy. I just think the difference in Caitlin and Angela is pretty much, I just think people come off that Caitlin's probably more humble and probably is more, what's the word I want to say? She's more locked in into being what we don't question. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't question Caitlin Clark. Far as I know, she's working on her game. I know what she represents as far as, trying to do something for the WNBA. I just look at Angel Reese like, I mean, you just heard me rant about her as far as I like her. I wish she would put basketball at the top of her priorities instead of everything else. That's my only knock on Angel Reese. Now I can't speak on everybody else because I see all this ugly, stuff that's being said on both sides. I don't care for that. You'll never see me dwell in that. I agree with you, Randy. She does, in a sense, she does, get a raw end of the deal as far as, how ugly people are nowadays. It's one thing to talk about, somebody, how they play, because I think like one of the reasons she did the Mebounds thing, she's like, she's gonna donate that to cyberbullying. I can't knock her for that because she's getting cyberbullied. Like we can honestly sit here and say she's truly getting cyberbullied. Whether you like her or not, she's going through a form of bullying, and I think people do need to realize that.
I
Absolutely.
think all athletes go through some type of bullying. I
It's
think they're
different. No,
just
this is
prone with
different.
it.
This is different. This
Yeah, I agree.
feels a
Yeah,
little.
it's different. I'm just saying, like, but for her, I think her acknowledging it may be the problem. I
Exactly.
But
think that
I think she's
I
fighting
think
fire
that
with
she,
fire.
yeah, you're not
I
gonna
think she.
win. I don't feel like you win with
Some hurt
social
people,
media.
Ben.
Yeah,
It's not. That doesn't make her a bad person. You're a product, but you're a product of your own environment. And I just think the hurt that she's receiving, she's just trying to make the best out of it. Because, like Randy pointed out, all she should have said was, "Well, man, y'all gave me a great idea," instead of her, because you can hear the anger in her voice. But she's trying. That's why you couldn't understand her, Neil, because she's trying to
she,
balance anger and turn it into something and make it out of something. And you see it. I wish she would just understand that and just, baby girl, focus on what got you where you are now. Instead of worrying about the perks and everything else that comes along with what you want. I can't knock Caitlin Clark for what she has or what she's accomplished. That's where people get all wrong.
Mhm.
She's jealous. And she's jealous in a sense. I'll say it.
Yep.
But the easiest thing to do, go to work.
Yeah.
Bust your ass. Go bust some people ass on that court and make something out of yourself, and the support will come.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but at the same way, I just want to say, Swift brought up she is acknowledging it. So
Mhm.
part of that is the immaturity that she has, and she's a young player. She's just fresh out of college, professional ball player now, trying to make money, trying to make get wins and all that. But one thing I know is that people out there on social media, the trolls and the haters. The only way you get rid of them is not stopping to acknowledge them, because no matter how well you,
Oh,
no matter how
I
much
think
you
mm,
do, those guys won't stop. The haters and trolls live on attention for themselves.
Oh yeah.
If they don't get
yeah.
that,
yeah.
they shrivel like little
They-
mushrooms into the ground.
when you address them, you just make their day.
You
And
Like
make
you
you
they
feed
kind
them
of,
day.
the weed.
Oh
oh,
You feed
yeah.
them the
oh,
weed.
They
I'm
take
there. I'm in
time out to
there.
respond to little
I'm
old me.
No,
right.
but okay. Let me throw a scenario at you guys. There was a famous clip. Like I keep watching this all the time because it makes me smile so much. And Markelle Fultz, he was struggling. He was in and out. He was in Philadelphia, and Charles Barkley on the NBA on TNT. He specifically called out the trolls, saying, "You sit at home in your grandma's basement with your drawers on," and and he's like specifically calling out on the trolls, right? And I don't think like what can a troll say to combat that? And to a small degree, I think that's exactly what Angel Reese has done. She has capitalized and potentially made a moneymaker after getting trolled. I think it's I now I don't know if this movement is actually going to generate revenue, but if it does, I think it's a win-win. And another thing as well, very quickly, is that I think a major problem with hockey and how it does not garner a lot of attention in the US is because they all have a vanilla, boring attitude. And quite frankly, Caitlin Clark has a boring attitude. I mean, I think that if you do mix in somebody like an Angel Reese, and these days, like I could appreciate the fact that hockey does not gravitate to you guys as much to a guy like myself, but guys on the Florida Panthers who won the championship 2 years in a row, they have characters. They have a guy, Paul Bissonnette, on TNT, and he has this loud personality that is garnering a lot of attention. And I think that that's exactly what the WNBA needs. It's been close to 30 years, and it's been crickets until Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have gotten into the league. So, I mean, yeah, you do need your professionalism in Caitlin Clark, but I definitely think you need a real show person, a villain, if you want to call Angel Reese that. I think you definitely need Angel Reese around.
I don't think Angel Reese is the villain type. She's too emotional.
I mean, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to want the title, but if you have
that's
people,
what I'm saying, to play into their hands per se. Because she was crying. I think it was like a month ago. Her teammate had to come out.
She's a woman.
I know. I'm saying like, don't play. She's too emotional to be a villain.
She's a woman.
I'll come back.
Caitlin Clark is emotional too. You just don't see it because it's not. She doesn't get the kind of perception Angel Reese gets. But now, let me say this about Caitlin Clark real quick, because I don't think people understand why these other women are going after her. Like, I'm with protect Caitlin Clark and all this, but Caitlin Clark be on that court talking shit.
Oh yeah.
She be talking big piles of it too. And it's cool with me. Like, she hit a 3. Y'all can't F with me. I done seen it.
Yeah, she did against the Sun, the Connecticut Sun. She hit that 3 on that girl. That's when she was hype, boy.
And she been toasting that girl since college. I be like, I love it though. It's feisty.
Yeah. I know. I say this. I just hope more women like Asia Wilson get the attention they deserve, because I mean, she's been a phenomenal player in the league for quite a few years now, and I think she warrants more attention than what she's in actuality getting, because she can play.
Right.
For sure.
She definitely should get more attention than what she getting. But I hope everything works out well for Angel Reese at this point in time, because the haters never leave. They always watching.
You know what I want? I'm gonna say this.
What's that?
I want to see Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on the same team.
Right.
Ooh,
That'd be fire.
that would be crazy.
That would. That'll end everything. That'll end it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be good for ratings. That'll bring everybody together.
Make sure they're in the final.
That will end racism right there.
Yeah.
Oh, when that's gonna happen? The LA Olympics. That's when it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. And they become best friends, and the rest is history.
That's
All right, we're gonna go overtime real quick. All right, Shedeur Sanders got 2 speeding tickets, and within a week's time for going over 100 miles per hour. Neil, do you think that's an issue for the 5th round pick, Shedeur Sanders, to get 2 speeding tickets going 100 miles per hour, knowing the history of the player speeding in the NFL?
Well, it certainly didn't learn from his mistake the first time, I guess. But as someone who has received multiple speeding tickets in life, I can't really talk too badly about a guy who knows what the heck kind of car he's driving. I mean, personally, it shows me that as a professional now, there's a certain level of discipline that I'm sure his father has drilled into him to a degree. You know, he's come up the right way. He's had the right mentor. Although that being said, you know, Deion Sanders had a little history with cars and speeding as well, if I do remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he's prime junior, or he wants to be. And so, but I do think that, you know, he's got to learn quickly that to be a true professional, you have to learn from your mistakes, and you can't be seen as a repeat offender in some of these things. And I think he'll grow up, you know. A couple times, probably just saw that open Ohio roads and just wanted to burn rubber a little bit, but got caught a couple times, and and didn't think that the cop was hiding in the bush over there, and he was. And so maybe now he'll be a little bit more cautious because third time, it may not end as well, let's just say. And that goes just from within the organization as well, how they see him. Because, don't forget, he's fighting right now for a spot. It ain't guaranteed for him. He's fighting for it. And you got to put your best foot forward. You're not prime yet. If you are, a little bit leeway you get for this sort of thing. But you don't get that yet. You haven't earned it.
Flowers, if you're the Browns coach, man, how will you address Shedeur right now?
I'd be hard on him, but not too hard. I would just remind him how he got here into the organization and that he doesn't need any slip ups to sway anybody in any means. Look, I'm with Neil on this. I've had maybe 3 speeding tickets in my life. So I'm not gonna be the one to sit up here and say, well, he's doing 100 and a 70. I mean, yeah, don't do it. But I say, I guess I'll go more into depth with that. Like if he was drinking like Henry Ruggs, you know what I'm saying? If that was a added layer to it as far as him doing wrong, I would have more to say. But I am with Neil as far as Shedeur needs to understand, or read the room. That's probably the better thing to say. He needs to read the room, man. You're a 5th round pick. You're not guaranteed a spot on this team. You need to do everything positive. You need to always have a foot forward and doing everything that you do, because any little thing can sway anybody to not, you making that 53-man roster. And honestly, this could come back to haunt him. I have to be honest, because like I said, nothing's guaranteed with Shedeur unless he just comes out and kills. Training camp coming up in a month, but he has to be smarter. That's why they pay quarterbacks all this money. They expect quarterbacks to make the right decisions. Like if you're making bad decisions with speeding tickets, hell, they probably gonna assume that you're gonna make a bad decision throwing a pass.
Right. Randy, man, you think people are being too hard on the kid?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it's speeding tickets. It's not DUI. It's not beating on your girl. It's a couple of speeding tickets. I mean, like Neil said himself, like I was getting my feet wet with speeding tickets, and I was rolling around in a '96 Ford Escort. So, I mean, who knows what kind of toy Shedeur's got? He's probably got like the top of the line for exactly right. And he's got a lot on his plate, and I think definitely like Flowers was alluding to at the end, like if he does have a great camp and if he can get some consistency going with Cleveland, like this is going to be absolutely forgotten. I think a lot of people do want to see Shedeur slip up. Whether you loved his pops or hated him, I think that a lot of people would like to see Shedeur fail, but I don't think this makes any difference at all. A couple of speeding tickets, we've all been there, so no big deal. I do hope the kid has a great camp and actually could do something for Cleveland.
All right, because like I said, a lot of people do want him to fail. I feel like he should have been smarter than going 100 miles per hour on the road. To me, eyes on him, like I say, a 5th round pick. He got a lot to lose. I mean, like I said, he dropped in the 5th round, so he definitely got a lot to lose. And he can't give people ammo to come after him or the coaches to look at him some type of way. He should be flying underneath the radar, locked in, ready to get to work and make a name for himself. You can't ride your dad coattails all your life. You gotta branch out, and this is this branch out moment. He gotta make a name for himself, go on the count, kill in count, and make the roster. Because, like I said, stuff like this, it come back and bite certain players. So he need to be thankful that he went to a Browns organization. They clearly believe in him, that he has a chance to make things right and just be more conscious, man. I know it's been having a sports car and everything, you being young. Yeah, I get it, but it's time to be smarter. time to be more mature and time to put in some work. Go ahead.
I just want to throw one name out, just see if y'all catch what I'm trying to do here. Dak Prescott.
Well, you talking about that fight?
Year. Not the fight. Past him. See, that's another thing. See, rookie year. He gets a ticket right before he goes to training camp in Mississippi, remember. DUI, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
He's pleading with the state trooper. Oh, the state trooper like, I don't want to do it to you, but I got to do it to you. Dak Prescott was just fine.
Yeah.
There you go. So, man, guys, thank y'all for joining us. Man, it's been a blast. Can't wait we need to do this more often, be honest. We need to do this more often, more matches.
I enjoy Neil and Randy, man.
No, we had a blast. Thank you so much.
We gotta meet up more. I know everybody's schedules is different and everything, but all season's here for the NBA. I know y'all guys talking about y'all gonna talk about soccer and some baseball. Y'all Blue Jays?
Neil's not the biggest soccer guy in the world. I mean, he could fit right in with you guys with football. A hell of a lot better.
Yeah, Neil, anytime, bro. We going right into the football season now.
Ready.
I could talk about
some football for sure.
I could talk football on a high level sort of thing, but Neil and I will definitely catch up with NBA free agent signings, NHL, maybe. See what's going on in everything else in the world of sports.
Yeah, you know what? The 2 weeks after the season ends is always wonderful in the NBA these days. I look forward to this 2 weeks greatly every year.
We need something to talk about. I want to talk about Mebounds and stuff like that.
We got the draft and free agency coming up, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Exactly. I can't wait. I love it, man. They already count down the NFL Sundays, Neil. I think what we had. How many more days? 70-something?
Something like that.
Yeah, man. It's time's flying by.
Give me the training camp, and I'm alive. I'm telling you.
Yes. Yeah. We got Hard Knocks. I think Hard Knocks is with my Bills this year, so that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, Bill, you're a Buffalo guy. Okay.
Oh,
he's a Buffalo guy. I'm. If I had to support a team, sorry, Swift. I think I'm gonna go Buccaneers, but
no, man, no, leave him alone. You better look, Randy. I'm giving you a chance to join the team, cause Tyler Shook, man. He taking us to another level. But
no, that would be like Neil. What about seeing the Raptors in New Orleans? I guess that's the closest NBA town to Mississippi. Is that right, guys?
Well, Memphis. Who knows? Memphis might not even have a team. They keep shooting up places. So
talking about moving into Nashville, right?
Yeah, moving it where?
To Nashville?
They need to move it out. Yeah, that'd be better. Like, move it out of Memphis. I know Stephen A, he got a lot of flack, but I know we didn't get a chance to talk about that, but Stephen A got a lot of flack for saying that. But
is Nashville closer to you guys than Memphis?
No, Memphis is closer.
Memphis is closer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Nashville would 9 hours, 10 hours.
No. Nashville from Jackson is like probably what 7 to 8.
Federal.
So you might be about 8.5 to 9, maybe where you at.
Yeah.
Stephen A didn't get enough flack for playing solitaire during the finals.
Right, man.
You should have got some flack for that, man.
Yeah, wasn't it KD that said something about it?
KD posted it.
He said, "Oh yeah,
was it KD?
No ball."
KD, man. Is he the NBA's Reese?
Not at all.
Social media.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us, man. We'll be back next week with another episode. And thank y'all for support, like, and subscribe, share with family and friends. Go over to Voice of the Fans Canada YouTube page and give them a sub and show them some love also, man. We appreciate y'all. We out of here.
Peace.